Good morning, dear students. Today I will start a new chapter, and name of the chapter is the transportation in plants and animals. Name of the chapter 11 is the transportation in plants and animals. You know that living organisms need food, water and oxygen for their survival. For their survival, living organisms need food, water, oxygen. And in case of green plants, they need carbon dioxide, sunlight and water are required for making food, and these substances need to be carried or transported to various parts of the body. And in addition, waste material produced within the body also need to be removed. And do you know there is a system that is called the transportation system in organism for this purpose. Transportation system are present for the transport of various organisms, various substances into the various parts of the body. And now transport of materials in plants. 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 In chapter on food, you have studied that water required for preparing food by the plants is absorbed from the soil through the root system. You know that water required for preparing food, it is absorbed by the root system through the it is absorbed from the soil through the root system. And in this second one is the food is synthesized in the leaves. You know that food is synthesized in the leaves. And the water absorbed from the soil through the root system has to be moved upwards to their other plant parts, and the food synthesized in the leaves has to be carried to other plant parts. And the method of transport in different plants vary. Different plants and in different plants and different modes of transportation is different. And transport in unicellular and simple multicellular plants. Diffusion is a major method by which transport of materials occurs in single cell, that is called the unicellular organisms like Chlamydomonas, and simple multicellular plants like the Spirogyra. Diffusion is the major method by which transport of materials takes place in the single cell organism, that is the Chlamydomonas, and simple multicellular plants like the Spirogyra. And when food is being cooked in your kitchen, you can smell it in other rooms in the house, and this is because molecules are leaving the food as a gas and moving around at a high speed and eventually reaching all parts of the house. This is called the diffusion. Diffusion is the movement of particles from a higher concentration to a low concentration area until they are spread out eventually. What is the diffusion? Diffusion is the movement of particles from a higher concentration to the lower concentration until they spread out eventually. So now come to the transport in higher plant, that is called the conduction. The mechanism of transport in multicellular higher plants is much more elaborate. The process of diffusion, which is slow, cannot meet the requirement of transport to all parts in a short period of time. How does water reach in our homes? We have pipes for the supply of water in our homes. In plants also there are special tubes called the xylem and phloem, and in plants xylem and phloem are present for the this is the special tubes xylem and phloem. This is the xylem and phloem. Xylem and phloem is the special tube present in the plants which conduct food, water, minerals to the various parts of the body. Various parts of the body, and which comprises the conducting tissues or vascular tissues. And it is through these tubes that the transport of materials takes place. Xylem and phloem are present in all parts of the body, and it mentioned above there are two aspects of transport of substances. There are two aspects. And in this diagram you can see that in this you can see that transport system in plants. Transport system in plants. Transport system in plants. Transport system in plants. This is the sunlight energy. Sunlight energy. Sunlight energy, and this is the bud. And here sugar made by photosynthesis. Here sugar made by photosynthesis. Here sugar made by photosynthesis, and from here CO2, and here water and minerals. Water and minerals move up from the soil. Water and minerals move up from the soil, and this is a transport system in plants. Movement of water and minerals takes place from the roots upward to other plant parts, and this movement takes place through the stem and its branches. This movement takes place through the stem and its branches. And movement of food particles synthesized in the leaves to other plant parts. Transport of water and minerals. Upward movement of water and minerals occur through the pipe-like structures or channels that is called the xylem elements, and present in root, stem and leaves of plants. Water is thus carried to the entire plant, and plant absorb water and minerals by the root, and the root have root hair, and the root hair increases the surface area for the absorption, and root for absorbing water and minerals dissolve in water. And the root hair absorb water present in the soil particles, and from there it reaches to the xylem elements. Transport of food. Transport of water and minerals takes place through the xylem, and food takes place through the phloem. And the prepared food materials is carried in a soluble form through another channel that is constituted by the phloem from the leaves to all other parts of the body. And how can we show that these two transport system occurs in plants? Activity 11.1. Activity 11.1. Here in diagram you can see that 11.3 to show upward movement of water. To show upward movement of water, here I will draw the plant, and in this you can see that plant, and here plant, and this is the plant, and here cord, and this is a dark paper cover. This is the dark paper cover. Dye fades in sunlight, and water stained with dye, erosion or safraning. You can see in the diagram. In this, take a cut shoot, a piece of stem with leaves of balsam plant, and dip in a dilute red dye, and flask is shown in the 11.3, and leave it for the some time. And this takes section from different parts of the stem and examine the section under the low power of the microscope. What do you observe? You will find a red color in the stem section. Now check whether the entire stem tissue is red or only some parts of the section is red. You will find that only certain parts of the stem is red. And which of these parts? The red color area of the stem represent the vascular tissue, that is the xylem, because water and minerals transported through the xylem. So in this diagram you can see that this is transported through the xylem, and xylem is the part where food and minerals are transported through the plants. Till here you will take revision.